So, how much do you know about parfum?
Things that you've told me in the past. I know that the Indian side of, I know that the South Asian culture has itar, and the Western culture has Udicolone, how we pronounce that, and you've got perfume, and different notes are used: top note, base note, medium note, and itar is more to do with. So it's very very basic, more to do just with what my nose likes, and more to do with natural smells. Is my understanding of perfume.
Okay, so I'll give a brief introduction on it. Everything in nature has a low note, a mid note, and a top note.
Yes.
So the same way you'd compose music, it'd be very similar. So bass notes can be anything, but often they are things like roots, wood. Mid notes often are spices, leaf. Top notes are often citrus, flowers. Though in mid notes there are some very well-known flowers as well. All parfum would mean pure oils, natural. Now this has been corrupted today with the synthetics that are made with ethanols. The very large global brands that are not using natural substances are using synthetics in their parfum. So what we do here is we create only natural parfum, watching the chemistry of somebody, understanding the chemistry of somebody, and ensuring that the parfum matches that person's chemistry. A rule in parfum is if you put it on, or even if it's a synthetic, doesn't matter, if you can smell it yourself, you've already put too much on. So you can remember this as well. So with real parfum, when it matches your chemistry, it becomes part of you. Parfum making is an art as well as a science. And those differences in art and science between the two parts of the world are that in Central and South Asia, it's usually made up of base and sometimes base and mid notes, is an itar. The European tradition is the base, the mid, and the top notes. Also, when you make a parfum, you must go in order. You can't start with the top note, go to a base note, and then end up in a middle note. You must go in sequence, starting with base notes, then mix your mid notes, and then your top notes. Okay? So let me smell your chemistry. So your main structure would be made up of wood and spices.
Okay.
So
I accept that.
A bit of masala, yes, and a bit of just calmness. Okay, so I'm going to start testing on you. The amount that I will go on to your skin that I'll put, we will make it so it'll smell the same way as when I bottle it. Even though those percentages will be different, to actually get it to smell that way in a bottle is not the same way to get it to smell on your skin. Those are two different things. But they will smell the same later.
That's wonderful. Do you
Okay.
think you could tell me what you looked for here? Do you think I could smell you and
Sure.
try to figure, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, without practice, I'd say you close your eyes so that you are not using a sense, that you are not confusing your senses. Once you have lots of practice, you can do as you prefer. Can you pick up anything?
Something, but
Difficult.
oh, yes, very extremely.
Yeah, so it takes immense practice to do this. And very few individuals today can understand this art.
You can't smell it.
Yes, but others, of course, can. You know, that smell on your pillow at night or whatever.
I think I can.
Yes, and you can. So after using your pillowcase for 1 or 2 weeks, often, you know, at least my habit, is I don't want to switch the pillowcase. I don't actually want to wash it. And that's because your own scent is there. It comforts you, makes you relax. And that's why you often don't want to change that sheet, for example.
Well, we don't really have a choice in the house.
Well, yes, there we are. Okay, so I'm going to start with, let's see, for your chemistry, I'm going to put on this. It's a very good base, so it's just a wood oil. So we'll put this wood oil on and apply it.
When you say wood oil, you mean a specific wood?
It is a specific wood, but some of the proprietary secrets of creation, I don't always say which things I'm applying into my bespoke made parfum.
And that'll get me addicted then.
Of course. And it's a good addiction.
It's a wonderful addiction. It's the right kind of investment for your mind, I guess.
Okay. And you can smell yourself on this first level, but later not, because it will confuse your nose.
I think I recognize that smell.
Okay. So. The next one I'm going to apply is a root.
I'm a very special lady sitting in your magic room. You're applying all of the magic potions and
Elixirs.
elixirs.
Okay. Well, I'll let you smell it just for the educational side, even though it might confuse you later.
I recognize this one too.
Yeah, it's very good on your
My
chemistry.
grandfather used to use this a lot.
It's very highly likely. Many aristocrats and royals, this is a well-known combination since about the 9th century in South Asia. Okay, I need...
I've always asked you this question and you've always given me an answer to this question. I'm again going to ask you, how do you acquire so much knowledge, retain it, stay interested in it, loyal and committed to it?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, in my family, connoisseurship, as you know, 13 generations of it. And I started training when I was 6 for parfum and many other art mediums. So it's looked at who would have the natural ability and the passion to continue the collecting, the education, the knowledge, and who can retain that. And also the person who would have the passion and dedication to find one individual for the next generation to pass all that knowledge to. And I have chosen who I'm going to pass all the knowledge to already. I just have not made it public.
And how do you stay loyal to your to this blessing that you've received? How do you refrain from your ego stepping in and probably messing it up?
Well, I think that any person, in my opinion, any type of narcissism, ego, is a blockage. For myself, I don't understand envy or jealousy. I'm exceptionally happy when somebody else is learning, doing well, getting where they'd like, and free to do what they want. So I don't have any of that kind of ego that needs to be for myself. Yes, I will go out there, present what we're doing and whatever, and that's to get more interest, but that is not for myself per se. And I think material culture is the root of every culture in the world. Without it, there is no foundation, there is no passion. Without art, there's no thought, there's no empathy, there's no beauty. And so those are the things that drive me. Now you can smell this. Isn't that just delicious? Okay, so now this is pretty much, it is a South Asian, Central Asian tradition. We're only in base notes. But I'm going to create one that would go into the European tradition and do mid and top notes as well, building from this, that will still smell exceptional on you. Okay? You would like?
Yes. I do.
Okay. I need to see which one here. Okay.
I have to admit, the ether room makes me very sleepy.
Yes, it makes you completely relax. Or energized, depending what you decide to do. This is a rare...
Relaxed and sleepy. Energized, yes, but to sleep.
Yes.
And dream.
This is a rare floral oil. And it very, I believe, has the scent of, let's say, the Orient. So if you are from a background like my family, Orientalists and such, the smell conjures up the images of our longing and belonging to Central and South Asia. You can smell that. Sorry, you were saying about this particular scent and how it's altered.
Yes, it all of a sudden just altered the entire personality of
Yes.
the fragrance.
But doesn't
it was a huge sort of a
Yes.
shift.
But doesn't this conjure up smells of the Zanana?
It does.
Yes. The dancers and all of the cuisine and drinking and announcements at court.
Yes, it does.
Mm.
And I love masculine smell. Of course, I love floral, but I will always spray too on different halves of my body. And this is very feminine,
Yes.
but it has
also,
a very strong masculine
yes.
energy to it.
With real parfum, there's no such thing as parfum, you know, like marketing today, this is for men and this is for women, because each individual's chemistry is so different. So that is often just marketing. So you could have a male's chemistry that is far more floral, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to come across as feminine on him, but it's necessary with his chemistry. And you can have a female like yours, which is spice and wood, which again is going to come out very alluring, very, let's say, sensual.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but doesn't mean that it's made up of what other people would think, oh, that's a masculine or that's a feminine smell. So a lot of that means, or most of it means nothing in actual parfum making. Okay, so the next one I'm going to put on, it's a rare flower from the northwest part of India, and I love it. You can't smell it directly because it's so concentrated, so it's very small amounts to use. And I'll just add that.
I can smell that.
Yeah, so we're going to have
It
to...
is very concentrated.
Yeah, now we're going to blend that very well. Yes, wait a minute, it's very strong.
Is this a top note?
No, it's a mid note,
Mid note.
but a flower.
Okay.
Yes, now you can smell it.
We put this fragrance in when we after we bathe our gods.
Yes.
We put a little on,
Yes, you do.
especially the ones that are signified with white.
And the flower is white. And also, it is a bulb flower that has many stems. And often this was used in reception quarters of palaces and filled through the zanana, because this particular flower for 1 week can permeate a whole room. And it's one of my favorites. Okay. One moment, I'll look for what I'm after. It's here somewhere. It's hiding from me. That's definitely not it. Actually, this will be really good with your spice, so we'll try that one.
And I see you have removed something that I've always wanted to sniff because it's highly dangerous.
Oh, I see. Oak moss.
Yes.
It's right there.
Oh, I missed it.
Oak moss, the synthetic, is used in most men's colognes, and that's what gives that kind of musky sport smell.
Uh-huh.
Naturally, you cannot smell it directly. You can even get it like an epileptic fit. So very small amounts of that put into parfum gives that very sexy male scent. So, but no, you can't smell it directly. I'm not going to allow you to
I'm
have.
not going to.
I'm not going to allow you to have an epileptic fit here. Okay, so I'm going to use just a tad bit of this spice, teeny bit. You'll also notice I'm applying from different parts of my hands because not to mix those different points out of order. Oh, sorry.
No, I became lazy. I started to put all my weight on you.
That's all right. Your weight is too much. Neither is mine. Now you can see how it's altered it again.
Yes, it has, and I do recognize that smell.
Mm.
It's made it warmer now.
Yes. That one I'll tell you, that's cinnamon, dalchini. Okay, and you use different parts of dalchini. You can use the bark as well as the leaf, the pati. Okay, now this one I'm not going to actually for you. I'm just going to add this last thing. And this one is known as a bridge note. So you have, again, the low, the mid, and the top notes, and the bridge note itself are very few substances that can be a bridge note that kind of tie things together. And with your chemistry, I think it'll be quite lovely to do so. And you always say that you like the smell of this Itar laboratory in Jog Niwas. So this will help you have the same scent of that with you.
I hope it's not going to make me fall asleep.
No. I've made a combination of energy and relaxing.
Because I love sleeping.
There's a lot today with aromatherapy and all of this, and most of it is justifiable if the person knows what they're doing and has that knowledge.
Right.
And if you can combine that with your own chemistry to have your parfum to be that as well, the best of both worlds. Just a moment. Now, because, one more thing I should say, base notes and mid notes, they will last, the mid notes, anywhere from 3 to, let's say, 6, 7 hours. Base notes can be 12, 13 hours. Top notes often dissipate within 30 minutes, a little bit more sometimes. And top notes is usually the one that's wooing somebody in the synthetics. So real parfum is always made up of the base and the mid notes, yes? And those top notes help in its chemistry and help in that scent, because even a drop of one oil can change the smell. But with this top note, as well as being a bridge note, will combine and keep all of it solidified for a long time, I mean all day.
It's again done the same thing.
Yes.
And this time the I think the bridge note has enhanced all the others, so I can actually individually smell them.
Yes,
It's like it's actually playing a game with you.
it is. A mental and emotional game.
And it's a teaser.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Great.
You've never done this one earlier for me.
No.
So this is a very, very special one.
So now I'm going to actually make the parfum. Yes. So now I'm going to make the parfum for you. And I'll be adding everything that we just created on your chemistry. Now I can do this with lots of practice. I would not recommend this by somebody else because they don't know what quantity to do.
So an amateur should use the correct portion?
Yes, so if you have a dopper, like within a laboratory, to give you an idea, 20 drops is about 1 milliliter. And even one drop, yes, can change the whole scent. So if you don't have lots of practice, yes. There's also a lot of hobbyists today that are doing essential oils and making parfum out of it. It's actually not possible because those essential oils are already mixed with a carrier oil. So you have a few drops of the pure extract of, let's say, whatever it is, rose, and that's put into a carrier oil. And so those are already different notes. And what they're doing is they're combining different notes of these essential oils to make a parfum. So So it can't ever last or be permanent.
Then, there's so many synthetic perfumes that actually last a very long time. So if the top note does not stay for a very long time,
It's the base note that's there, or sometimes the mid note, and especially if you walk into if you spray and you walk in with clothing and such like that, that'll make the scent longer.
but how does it stay on them for the whole day? And I know so many of my friends. I used to have a perfume that I used to use. I used to put it on in the day, and it used to last me till the evening, and I wouldn't be worried about anything.
Well, one thing to remember is that the scent that was put on is not the one that's lasting. So you can see that that's not the same smell that which you put on in whatever time, and then later it's not the same smell. I follow the tradition for, obviously, South Asia. For what I'm doing now. I'm going in order first of the base notes.
Magic potion.
Yes, it is magic. Well, the word parfum means smoke.
Word perfume means smoke.
It does.
Smoke or what? Just smoke?
Just smoke.
Why?
Well, generally you can smell it, but you don't see it usually.
So why are the French perfumes so famous?
Well, they had and do, in certain circumstances, definitely have a grand tradition in it. It's just that, of course, with today's marketing world and quantity, and away from true luxury, into this kind of mass marketing, let's say, most of the companies have switched into synthetics because you can make large quantities and also affordable.
If the authentic French perfume is what?
Well, there's different brands, which I won't name which brands, but there are some firms and individuals, both in Paris and in London, that do make very good parfum. An interesting thing to note, a very large percentage of the highest quality oil extracts in the world, steam distillation, absolutes and such, originate here in India. And they are sent to Europe, and they use them to create parfum. They also have local substances, of course, different roots, flowers, bark, everything, but a large percentage does come here. So it is interesting to also note that people who might buy a real European French parfum, and they might be just putting on them oils that came from here in the first place.
That's one of the reasons I haven't ever traveled out of India, because I wanted to first know enough. Well, you can never know enough, but I wanted to know a few things about my country, that when I do go out to another country and learn their culture,
Yes.
I can at least talk about my country and tell people my culture, and in-depth conversation of my culture that I would ask them. So I've refrained for all these many years. I think perfume, voluntary, water, education are good reasons to travel.
Well,
Perfume
opening
is
of one opening of one's mind, actual intellectualism, observation, accepting of other people, cultures, thought processes, stimulation of intelligence, and apathy.
It's so fascinating what you do.
I'm looking for, but I don't see where it went. Ah.
You always require these two and the third to keep mixing, like chopsticks.
Like chopsticks.
It looks like a beautiful blender. So you've got two of these things.
This is a technique that we've always used, being taught, because also when you make a parfum, you can't just decide, oh, I want to put any oil in together, this will work, because also different oils, they're different specific gravities, and how they will blend together is important too. So also putting them in which order will also make them liquefy, let's say, together. So that is also crucial to know how to do that as well.
That's nice to know that it's just not the notes. You're dealing with consistencies and
Yes.
how to really mix two together.
Well, another thing, today with the synthetics, so many people think that parfum is colorless. And of course, parfum naturally can't be colorless because it's coming from all these different natural materials that do have color.
That's a very strong point.
Okay, now
The bridge note, is it?
I'm looking for it. It was right in front of my note. No, it's my bridge.
This used to be my grandmother's favorite fragrance.
Oh, yes?
She liked.
Well, there's a reason for it. The secret bridge note is also a way for calming, relaxing, and also to keep your partner, the person you're intimate with, always interested in you.
The store used to smell of this all the time. It still does when I enter.
It's also a good natural insecticide.
I see now, that makes sense.
It has many properties.
Now, is that the carry oil?
Yes. Just deciding which one to use. I could do that. I'm going to do something special for you. I'm going to change it just a little bit. Yes, please, thank you.
What does that do?
This is a natural preservative,
Oh.
so that the parfum will last at least for 5 years if you use it every day. Also with real parfum, it's important not to keep it inside direct or having direct UV or direct sunlight. You want to keep it in a cooler, darker place. It'll retain the smell the best. The reason the bottles are amber colored is to protect against UV and also that they don't evaporate quickly.
Your connoisseurship classes, of course, they're all certified. And what do you recommend? How many weeks, months, or years does one subject? Of course, it requires, but I mean, we've got so many people who have shortage of time, but they definitely want to take out some time to learn. So,
Yeah.
how do you? What do you suggest for people who want to actually explore this option of?
The connoisseur classes that I give focus on many different mediums. And what I like to do is I like to observe the individual and who's interested. What are they interested in? Is it fine art, decorative art? Do they want a knowledge such as, let's say, textile creation, natural dyes, gemology, parfum making? So then I will focus more on that individual for that. A general course length that would be good for introduction into connoisseurship and basic medium would be about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes, and then from that I would understand, and I will convey that to the individual. Then with that introduction, their mind will start to open. So even if it's a collector, if it's a student, a scholar, anybody very interested or passionate just on art or aesthetics, from that point onwards could be able to understand better what they should be focusing on, or I can advise them what they should be focusing on. And then there should be years of step by step training. But those first 2 weeks in connoisseurship will open the mind to the possibility of, oh, here's a whole micro world, to be able to understand everything you see, dissect it. Yes, also in matters of etiquette, taste, and combine that world, the whole culture of it. This is being a little stubborn.
You won't do it?
No, it's fine. I'm just...
And then to graduate one step, and the other step, we have to take exams and tests to actually be able to learn more.
Yes.
We can't just pay and learn.
No.
Okay.
I also, that first step you can pay and learn. Let's see where you are. But even with collectors, art collectors, I also like to give them exams when they take connoisseur classes from me, because that will sharpen that collector's understanding of what they want to collect. What's their passion? So it's a combination of using that intellect, the aesthetic, sight.
How does oil and water work together?
Yes, again, magic. Come take a 2-week connoisseur class and you'll get to know all those secrets. Good places to apply parfum is here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the backside of your knees.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit here, this point of the neck. Yes. And you can do on your wrist as well, but then it will retain the smell for a very long time. Yeah, so now we've made it lighter. So it's now to blend in your chemistry, it'd be harder for you to smell, but it's less intense. Just becomes soft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to apply a little bit too. Why not? A little bit more, and you can smell it on me.
Oh, it smells different on you.
Yes, different chemistry.
It smells stronger on you.
No, it's
Huh.
because when it's matched for your chemistry, it's harder for you to smell it, remember, on your own
Oh, of course.
chemistry. It's no difference.
So it does smell like something like that.
Well,
Because this one is, whoa, that's really nice and strong. Like I feel like, oh, I can smell something and it's secure. And here I'm just like,
can't quite get it.
But you can smell it.
Yes, I can.
So this is blended naturally into the. So you know, I mean, if somebody applies this, does it really stay in the skin, or does it alter the smell of your sweat eventually, or?
Not it won't alter your sweat, but your sweat will come through, and it will smell like this sort of.
So every
Your
time
sweat.
you use it. So do you think you have something? Oh God, I can't believe I'm asking this question.
What's that?
Like an underarm roll-on sort of a. What is the breakthrough for that? Because there's so much chemical around there, and children are using stuff, and I mean, you know, you get all sorts of blockages, and it's not a good idea because there's so much chemical.
Yes, often those roll-ons will stop the sweat. They're blocking it. You don't want to stop the sweat.
No.
You want the sweat to come. It's your natural air conditioning, but you want it to smell good. So you can use the itter as well, underarms. Yeah.
It does not. The oil does not affect the glands.
No, I mean you would want to put very small amounts, and you won't need more than a very small amount.
Just maybe a drop or a half a drop or something. Right? Oh, so you can use it for this.
Yes.
So, okay. I know Nivu is good.
It's okay. It just
Well.
yeah, very good. It's just it's not going to last really long. It will last the same amount of time as a roll-on, so I suppose that's long enough.
But roll-on really kind of smells very off. It smells so synthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was quite a bit. No, so it's very, very light.
Oh, I can smell a little bit of it. Oh,
Yes.
I can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's amazing. What is this? It's just a lot of concentration of oil.
Yes.
And I did a lot of little secrets after that too.
Well, yes.
I hope I remember it in my head. Oh. Do you think you probably have?
Oh well. I'm going to smell very good on my mulmul.
What about the color? Does the color stay?
Probably, but there we are. So we'll remember this mulmul will become, it'll become Princess Padmaja mulmul. Your smell. Okay. light.
Wow, they get to see my tattoo. This is incomplete.
Looks like a Bagheera.
It's actually, this Bagheera is climbing down a tree trunk. So
Okay.
only when I put my hand up straight is when the real tattoo is revealed. It's quite freaky actually. My father can't watch this video. He'll be very upset when he sees my arm.
Because?
He does not approve of
Tattoo.
piercing your body.
There we are.
And I respect that.
Nice. What do you like better?
That's the magic.
Well, that's the highly concentrated.
But you called me spicy, so I have to be highly concentrated.
I know.
But that does not mean that we have to do that to the perfume. It needs to be itself, you know, like a personality, not because somebody wants it to be out.
Yes.
So earlier in the morning today, you were mentioning about how you have you looking and aiming towards education, and it's, for you it is because it's been passed on for over 400 years. So it's all about what one generation can do for the next 100 years. So could we speak about that a little?
Yes.
Like what is it that you are looking at in terms of, you know,
Passing on the knowledge.
your education bit, and as well as the facet where luxury is directly attached, and we should always remember it and should just bypass it for
Yes.
bimbo or dumb. I mean, that's not how it is.
The difference between a, let's say, a medium quality product or a premium product, let's call it today. Many people think premium means high quality. Premium means middle. So the difference between a premium product and a luxury product is only education. So that is on a, let's say, a more commercial side to collect art or even to understand art. But when it comes to the cost analysis of art, or what that art is marketed for, or how that's marketed and its value in the marketplace, let's say. So with the education on all of that side, yes, it's important. If you're going to collect art, if you want to collect art, you want to have it retain its value, you want it to go up in value, you have to understand the difference between the two. Just because something's premium and good quality does not mean it's the top, not at all. So you need that education. So part of the connoisseur classes that I give is also educating in that realm of luxury and luxury marketing. And that's very important. So the classes that we're giving will definitely include whole segments of that. I need just some fabric. I mean, I could use this because now I have this permanently on me. Any particular particles, because these are made up of all these different parts. Roots, flowers, bark, leaf. So there's little pieces in there. So we're going to sieve it to take them out.
Each drop is precious.
Yes. Can you see how the color is totally changed?
Now I understand why is handmade perfume so expensive.
Yes. The extracts themselves are rare. The process is exceptional knowledge, time, understanding. Now we're closer to the other.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Okay.
I love the way you do that.
Sorry.
I love the way you do that.
Huh. Okay, now I'm going to put them in the bottles. They're just little carry bottles, so they have silver Chandi Badak on them. So. Oh, the silver's coming on me. It's the oil. Sticking. Might as well have a little silver with our itar. One of the parfums I made is frankincense, myrrh, and gold. And so it's combining that together. Now I'm going to have you help me. So with this, you don't want to bring it to the gust. You need to just keep it held up a little bit high.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to just keep it a little bit so that there's air between that. Okay? Can you keep your hand steady? Yes?
Yep.
Sure?
Whoa.
I can't see with your fingers there. But that's okay. Oop. Again. Oh.
No.
Oh, I just filled bottles.
Okay.
Shanane. God, I was gonna say.
Not at all. If you're going to create beautiful, amazing art, if you're creating parfum, if you're going to create something of worth, the process is always a little messy.
I hope you're not just saying this to make me comfortable.
No, it's absolute truth. Yes, you can't make things of exception that are amazing unless you have a messy process gets it there. So you can have the beautiful finished package, and so much of parfum today is interesting as well. The synthetics are marketed and they're packaged so well, and they have beautiful little bows. And again, like I was saying yesterday, it doesn't matter all of that. It only matters what the actual product is. Oh, you see?
My reactions are so slow.
Your reactions are so slow?
Yeah, my reaction was so slow.
Not at all, don't worry. We do have enough left to fill that up. I will smell like Princess Padmaja. Well, at least for today.
You're the one who's created the fragrance and given it my name.
Okay. So when we package bottles for in the house, then they're of course beautifully hand cut crystal or glass. We also make gemstone parfum bottles out of solid gems. But these are good to put in your purse, your handbag, or for a man to carry it in his man carrier or wallet or laptop bag. So you can take it with you everywhere and not worry about it spilling. There you are.
Thank you for this beautiful creation.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
Really feels very special.